Hello, this is James Hunter, and this is a shameless bicep shot on Sunday, October 8th, 2023. I'm going to talk about today two things that are commonly brought up when I hear reasons within conversations for why people either are not achieving health goals, fitness goals, perhaps struggling in certain areas as far as, different changes that they would like to see with their fitness and health. And there's two things I would say. There's going to be a lot of things, but there's really two ones I want to touch on in this video. And to be clear, this video is not to be dismissive of, across the board that some of these reasons I'm going to mention that there can't be some points, because that's not why I'm doing it. What I'm trying to do, or hopefully what I can help with, is to kind of find the balance, right? So the first thing I hear a lot about is genetics, right? It's your genetics. I've lost count in my life how many times people have been dismissive basically about what I've done in my life in terms of discipline and just my lifestyle, which has helped me, maintain for the most part a good amount of fitness and health throughout my life. A lot of people would just say, James, it's your genetics, right? Basically, I'm lucky. Doesn't require any effort. I wake up every day. I can eat whatever I want. Doesn't matter whether I work out much or not. I can just look at a dumbbell and I'm going to get in shape, right? So you get the idea. This can happen. By the way, this has a lot to do with sometimes people, if they can be dismissive of reasons behind why people may be achieving a result, helps them to feel less anxious about their situation, right? Why they're maybe not where they're at. So this issue of genetics, I've heard a lot, and I'm going to be clear. Yes, genetics definitely, of course they have an influence on things like bone structure, particular to people who might fancy bodybuilding or aesthetics. If you have like me, I guess I'm more like medium bone structure. Yeah, that's going to help in terms of how your muscles may present, right? The shape of your muscle. What about strength? Someone's potential for strength, it can vary. Yeah, genetics influence that too, right? Some people are just born for more of an aptitude to get strong, right? So what about height, right? Some people are born tall, short, medium, you get the idea. And so on. Our phenotypical expressions, eye color, attached earlobe, detached earlobes, just things like that. You can get into a lot of details what genetics determine. 100%. You can make the argument about metabolism, right? Some people eat whatever they want and they look like Axl Rose with washboard abs back in the day when Guns N' Roses, when Axl Rose was young and real skinny or lean. The rock and roll, diet, whatever. So people will use these type of comments, right? You can, eat what you want. You must have a tapeworm in you, and so on. The truth is, yes, there are people who have faster metabolisms. Maybe they're more, I guess you have more of a smaller frame, ectomorph, maybe skinnier, people endomorph, maybe towards bigger type body types, and then mesomorph in the middle. Maybe people can, be like a running back in football, track and field type athletes. So there are these type of issues. Fair enough. That being said, because there are things that genetics and just that can be determined to be different and vary from people to people, this has nothing to do with the fact in terms of where our responsibility lies, our personal responsibility for getting changes in our life as far as health and fitness, and more importantly, doing the best with what you have. Do the best with your situation. You do not have to be an athlete. You do not have to be an elite strength athlete or anything of that nature in order to have a reason to do something about your situation, regardless of how strong you can get, right? Become as strong as you possibly can for your situation, because becoming stronger is one of the best things you can do for longevity and health. There's different measures of strength as we get older in terms of how you look at it, not just how much weight you can still lift in proportion to your body weight. What about agility, explosive power, being able to jump, for instance, these type of measures. So these things, yes, they can vary from person to person in terms of the potential, the aptitude for it. But nonetheless, whatever your potential is for your situation, whatever that best is, it behooves you. It's a good idea to keep that as efficient as possible, as best as you can, for as long as you can throughout your life, because staying fit and staying more than strong enough for your activities of daily life is a superpower. I say that a lot in my videos. So, and throughout my life, being in shape is a superpower because everything is easier by comparison. No, you do not need to lift, you do not need to deadlift 500 pounds to get through life. You don't. But let's say if you can, which by the way, a 500-pound deadlift compared to the general population, that'd be elite. Most people cannot deadlift 500 pounds. A lot of people can't even deadlift barely their body weight or twice their body weight, for instance. So if you can deadlift 2 to 3 times your body weight, yeah, that's exceptional. Not many people are doing that on average. So do you need to do that to get through life? No. A lot of people sit down for a job. They're sedentary. Perhaps when they buy groceries, it's groceries, right? You're not going to probably be lifting that amount of weight. The point is, if you are capable of being very strong in proportion to what your body is and the demands that you typically get, that makes everything so much easier. You're less likely to have injuries, get hurt. What about, falling down? And what if you break a bone for older people, break a hip? So strength and conditioning, that's not just barely enough and suffice to defy gravity, right? So I can walk, right? That's defying gravity. You need more than that. You need more than that for sure. If you want to have a better chance of not being vulnerable and susceptible to injuries. So this has nothing to do with being an athlete or what kind of genetics you're born with. Maybe you're not going to be like everybody else. Doesn't matter. Does not need to be a reason for you to then be dismissive and compare yourself to other people's situations, because someone else, perhaps from my point of view, it's easier for them, which you're assuming it is. Regardless of your genetics, it's still a challenge to not want to eat cheesecake, right? Or to have discipline to not eat to not eat pizza all the time, to have a plan for how you're going to organize meals and so on. That takes discipline, regardless of genetics. So here are things that genetics will not do for you. Genetics will not get you up at 4 o'clock in the morning so you can be to the gym at 5 a.m. when it works out. If you're like me, I'll work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Genetics will not cause you or force you to be consistent with a lifestyle of exercise that includes strength training, cardiovascular aerobic type training throughout your life. It's not going to make you do it, right? Your genetics do not determine that for you. Your discipline. Your genetics do not determine what you're going to place value on, what you say is important, which essentially what influences what you prioritize. Your genetics do not make you delay gratification, right? In order to achieve a result. So you get the idea. There's a lot of things in terms of our behaviors that are a part of the context of improving your fitness, your health, or any goal for that matter. Your genetics are not going to do it for you. We're not just on autopilot. If it was simply my genetics, for instance, with being able to stay lean and not become overweight and have excess body fat, then yeah, I wouldn't need a reason to intervene sometimes like I do to dial it back when I notice I'm gaining weight, because I have throughout my life become a bit fat around the midsection. Things were getting a bit out of hand, and then I had to intervene and get refocused and back on track. I'm doing a video series right now, 50s fitness goals, body composition issues, goals, and then performance measures I'll be doing. And this video series, I did a baseline September 6th, last month. And you can see I got a gut, a stomach, I'm getting fat. And that video baseline is not as bad as I've gotten before. In my 30s, I got fatter than that, and I had to do something about it. So my genetics did not determine that. It didn't make me do it. If I had not prioritized my fitness and health, and had I not had a threshold where I have a point where I say, okay, enough is enough, it's time to do something, I would be definitely overweight by now. I'd be fatter. I wouldn't be in the kind of shape I am. I wouldn't have the same level of fitness. That's a fact. So I think you get the idea. Genetics is not determining this. So maybe some of you have thought that way before. Maybe you have a family member, a friend who's always been fit and in shape, and so you just kind of chalk it off. Well, it's their genetics, right? They're lucky pucky. They won the lottery. Everything comes so easy to them. So I would encourage you maybe to look at it this way, perhaps without realizing it. Maybe you're being a bit dismissive of the things those people are doing, the work they put in, the foundation that they have laid throughout their life and maintained. Because to not at least be reasonably fair and to give credit to those things, yeah, you're not being fair to people, and maybe arguably you're being disrespectful. I will see sometimes an older woman who's in very good shape, very fit, athletic, who's been working out clearly throughout her life. Perhaps she's been doing this, since she was a teenager, and she's kept it going in her life. And let's say she's in her 40s, maybe early 50s. So she'll be in the gym, and then you'll have maybe some other women who maybe they're kind of casually starting to work out. Maybe they go there because their husband started. And they'll make comments about a woman like that. They'll put her down. They'll say, she's just born that way. Or they'll start to feel insecure about themselves. So they'll start to attack that woman and say some negative comments about her, which is unfortunate, right? They look for a reason to be dismissive. You get the idea. So they can then feel better about their situation. So this happens, unfortunately. I've seen it happen throughout the years, versus not understanding that this person has made some sacrifices. They've prioritized a part of their life, a time in their life every week, day to day, throughout their life to achieve this. It didn't just happen, right? It doesn't just happen. You don't slip on a banana pill, get back up, and you're in good shape. Not an accident. So you get the idea. So the genetics, yes, it determines some things. It can, for sure. But by itself, in and of itself, if we just focus on that, then we're being dismissive, and it has nothing to do. Your genetics has nothing to do with the bigger picture here in terms of what's the best thing to do for yourself, your health. If you want to improve it, you don't have to have the same situation as an athlete or maybe someone else who's been doing it a long time. The only thing that matters is how you can improve whatever your potential is. Do the best with it. That's it. That's what's logical. That's what's reasonable. And ultimately, the responsibility is on you. So the next time you find yourself a person feels himself feeling insecure about someone who's fit and shape, and perhaps an older person in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and older that are still in good shape, instead of just chalking it off to they're lucky and it's their genetics, why don't you, just say, hey, maybe that can be a reason for me to feel inspired. Maybe I can do something with my situation, try to put a positive spin on it. So that's the first big one, genetics. It's not all genetics, to be fair. Number 2, age. So age is one of the other common ones I hear get brought up a lot. So a lot of times, I know people in my demographic, I'm in my 50s, so I know people who maybe are a little bit older than me or close to my age. They'll bring up the age, they'll play the age card. Well, I'm getting older, or I saw so-and-so, and he's getting older too, and then they'll throw in the genetics things too, right? Kind of like using this as an external factor, something that's outside of our control. And to an extent, we all age, right? We haven't found the magic pill to be immortal and live forever. So this idea of aging, to be fair, yes, things can change as we get older. This is true. So if you're a younger person, this is even more of a reason for young people to start laying a foundation now. Do not wait. It's better that you do it now. So if you're in your 20s, today's the day to start, sooner than later. And if you're an older person, perhaps you're in your 50s like myself, well, it's not too late either. You can start now, better later than never, and you can still start deriving some benefits here and go forward. So laying the foundation, all of the adaptations, neuromuscular adaptations, bone mineral density adaptations, you get the idea. So that foundation, you do it when you're young, and then you carry it forward into when you get older. You're going to have a much better situation in terms of your quality of life. So while people do age and things can start to change for us, maybe the metabolism is not as fast as it used to be, that can happen. That still doesn't mean that the truth of how we can still benefit from exercise ceases to exist. You still derive benefits. So the reasonable thing to do is to keep working out. And hopefully you've been doing it all along to begin with, right? So getting older is not an excuse. You can still lose weight, you can still get stronger, and you can still have significant changes in your life. I've seen people who are sedentary in their 40s, 50s, and turned it around, and then transformed themselves, became a different person in terms of their fitness, and literally changed their quality of life. So age is not an excuse. There are some things about age that it's what it is. Developmentally, yes, we can expect some changes, but again, has nothing to do with where the responsibility is at, has nothing to do with in terms of doing the best of your situation. So all or nothing thinking would be, it's black or white. Because I'm going to get old and die someday, then what's the point? Why even try? I've heard people say that. And to me, it's a bit of a cop-out, right? You can say it's being weak, mentally weak, if you want to say that. Maybe that's not politically correct, but it is. It's negative thinking. It's very dismissive. I'm going to die anyway, so what's the point? Just do whatever. Maybe a bit of nihilism there, right? That nothing matters. So I think you get the idea. Age, genetics, yep, yeah, there's something to be said about both of those things. They do have their part, but they're not all of it, and they have not. And it has nothing to do with the bigger picture here, in terms of ultimately at the end of the day, what type of a life do you want to live? Do you want to live a mentally, emotionally defeated life that you're a victim, everything is happening to you, you have no power, it's my age, or I didn't win the genetics lottery, so what's the point? You know, I can't look like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, or I'm not able to look like a big name influencer on Instagram or whatever, fitness person. So therefore, why try, right? Or I'm not an athlete. I'm not very athletic. So then why try? So these become narratives and reasons to not change, versus flipping the narrative, flip the script, and have a way of thinking that's healthier for you, that will promote change. Focus on your reasons for why you can do it, for why you can make changes. You know, flip it in the other direction, because whatever you think and believe is up to you. And ultimately, it's your thoughts and beliefs about anything and how you interpret it that creates and influences your emotions and feelings. Emotions and feelings then influence your behaviors and decisions. The problem is our emotions and feelings are not always based on facts and logic. A lot of people can have distortions, a very rigid or dismissive way of thinking about situations, such as themselves. If you're out of shape and unhealthy, well, if I have a pessimistic, dismissive way of thinking about the situation, yeah, I'm going to feel dismissive. When I feel dismissive, feel pessimistic, feel resentful even, etc., right? So those negative feelings or feel skeptical, what's the point, right? So those emotions are not going to promote change. They're going to maintain at the ambivalence, or just being content with feeling comfortable with being unhealthy. So I hope this maybe challenges some of you to think, right, about your situation. Maybe you have a family member who does this, or a friend. So this video, to be clear, is not to be saying that there can't be some truth to age and genetics. It's just to help you find the balance, right, with yourself. So I hope everybody has a good day, good weekend, and a good upcoming week. Thank you.